Well, Brad, you probably picked up the paper today or looked online yesterday and thought, here we go again. You often don't like talking about players from other clubs, but it's played out fairly publicly. Anything to say about the Jordan De Goey contract offer?
Uh, yeah, I'm going to disappoint you a little bit. I mean, I understand the interest and the discussion that's going to come around these things. I mean, we've been a club probably for the last 18 to 24 months that's always going to be discussed when prominent players are out of contract. So I understand the discussion, but I'm not going to add to the commentary. You know, I've said pretty clearly in the past that I think providing a running commentary on players who are currently contracted to other clubs is really unfair on them. It's unfair on their clubs. We understand it's the nature of the industry at the moment, but for me to comment, I think would be unfair on everyone.
So I'm disappointed it's been made public.
No, I think it's the nature of the industry. You know, you can tell lies and you can deny everything. I think the easiest thing for us to do is just to go on with our business and not provide additional comment to what's already been thrown out there.
Without talking about the players specifically, Brad, do you think that this sort of talk, and it happened last year with a couple of players, excites North Melbourne fans, that you're putting yourselves in the market?
Yeah, I don't think there's an element of that. I think that that we've made some pretty significant list changes over the last few years. So our supporters wouldn't want to see that and then see inaction on the other side. So yeah, I think that there's an element of that, but we know that it's incredibly difficult to attract players from other clubs. Possession really is 9/10 of the law, and we're certainly, our chairman's been quite public in saying we want to be aggressive in the marketplace, and that will certainly continue. But we're aware of the challenges it also presents.
Wayne Carey said it's a risk given Jordan's troubles. You got a response to that?
There's risk in everything, yeah. But everything we do, there's opportunities and there's risks, and so you weigh those things up and make the best decisions the best decisions you think is in the best interest of the club.
Other reports during the week, Brad, that Graham Allen has snuck back into the AFL club landscape. How much of an impact did you have on that?
Oh, look, Gubby's and I've got a long-standing friendship. We go back over 20 years in AFL footy, so catching up with Gubby is not it's not a rare thing for me. We catch up a fair bit, but we just chose that Gubby's got a unique skill set. He's a very experienced person in the industry, and we just chose to formalise those chats because it becomes very difficult when you're seeking advice from someone and potentially they can distribute their services to other football clubs as well. So there comes a point where you take the informal chats and make it a bit more formal and make it a bit more specific to us rather than everyone else.
Sorry, what's he so good at? Why do you need him?
I think his record speaks for itself in terms of what he's been able to do at football clubs. I witnessed firsthand his ability to build a team at the Brisbane Lions in the late 90s and early 2000s, and he's done that repeatedly. Look at the list the Giants have assembled, and he's just got a lot of experience. And really, I mean, Gubby's role is minor in the scheme of things. I mean, Cameron Joyce still runs our football department, but that's one of the great strengths of our football club, that no one person has too big an ego. They're willing to seek outside opinion so that we can get the best result.
Is his role to be the deal maker in a sense?
No, our formal processes still sit with our list management committee. And Cameron Joyce is our general manager of football, so he's the one who will make all the decisions and in consultation with the rest of that list management committee. Gubby's purely an external consultant to bounce ideas off. But if 16 other clubs are doing that as well, it doesn't really help us too much.
Would help in these circumstances. He's got a fairly intimate knowledge of the Collingwood salary cap.
Yeah, I don't speak to him directly about that, but I think that's obvious. Yeah, I never get involved in the finances, so that's for others to talk about.
Brad, an update on Jared Waite's injury?
Yeah, look, we still listed him as TBC. He's improving, but again, we're just taking an ultra-conservative approach. He won't play this week, and it's really hard for us to say. I mean, when we've got a more definitive time frame, we'll certainly tell you. But all I can say at the moment is that he won't play this week, and then we'll assess next week as he starts to tick boxes in terms of his recovery. But my instruction to our sports science and medical team has been that when you think he's right, give him a few more, because we just need to make sure that when he's back, he stays back.
What do you think's changed at the Bombers to win 4 of their past 5 and change their form around?
A few things. I think they've, well, first and foremost, I think they're showing the form that most people thought they'd show at the start of the year. It just goes to show that when you make changes to your team and on and off field, that sometimes it can take time for those changes to gel. But right now they've got some personnel back, and even though they're still missing some significant players, the players that are there are seemingly playing really well together. They're pressuring really well, and they're a bit of an offensive juggernaut in the way they can move the ball. So yeah, they're getting it all together, probably like most of us thought they would at the start of the year.
Ben Jacobs, how's he looking?
Yeah, Ben's good. He'll train today, and again, I'd love to say that he's going to play. That's certainly my expectation, but with these things, we just need to wait and see how he pulls up. So even if he trained really well last week too, so even if he trains really well today, then we'll just assess him in the morning and then again on Friday and make a final decision.
What symptoms has he got? It was kind of a late withdrawal last week. What residual symptoms does he have?
Just standard concussion symptoms. And again, like it's hard because even the world-leading experts on concussion can give you an idea, but they can't give you a concrete answer as to whether it's safe to play or not. So we just look at a graded scale of symptoms, and those symptoms have all but resolved. But again, after a solid session today, we'll see how he pulls up.
Brad, the recruitment of Shaun Higgins, do you feel vindicated? A lot of the footy rhetoric when you got him from the Dogs was that he's injury prone, that he's didn't play at his best for long enough. He's now at best and fairest that your club has been talked about in Brownlow contention. We never look back and the last thing we want to do is sit back and say, oh, we told you so. Because the truth is that it's like we said before, you make calculated decisions, and there are risks and opportunities, and if you think the opportunity outweighs the risk, you take that. But Shaun, I've said a number of times, has been fantastic for us on field, but I don't think anyone in our football department could have predicted that he'd be quite as good as he's been. So he's a testament to hard work and professionalism, and I think arguably he's been more important to us off field than he has on. He's an integral member of our leadership group and just an incredible role model to our young players. So in every way you cut it, Shaun's been just a huge addition for us. Is it also a testament to your footy department though, Brad? I mean, players looking to come here from other clubs, clearly in the market again, would surely look at people like Shaun Higgins and Jared Waite, and there are other examples you can talk about, players that have played their best footy at Arden Street. Yeah, and I think we're trying to continue that theme as well. Go back to Ben Jacobs, who was a first-round draft pick and probably a crossroads of his career and has carved out a role for himself. I think Jed Anderson's going to display the footy or the best footy of his career, and he's only getting better. And so, we look at all those players that we brought in. We think Marley Williams has been just an exceptional player for us, and a player who was pretty much delisted from his old club. So, we do have great pride in our program, and when we do, I know that the thought is that we look at a wide range of players from opposition clubs, but we're very specific in what we're after, and we think that there's a specific role for those players to play, and when they come in, generally, they play better than they were before.
Billy Hartung, is he going to get up for this week?
No, Billy won't play. Billy's got a hamstring strain that we're still assessing, but it's certainly a strain that will keep him out of this week's game. And then again, once we've assessed those scans and we've given it a bit of time to settle, we'll be able to make a more definitive diagnosis in terms of time out. But he definitely won't play this week.